This video is merciless, full of things you don't want to hear, but go to minute 3 seconds 16 if you want to skip all the boring stuff. We'll cover 3 types of flexibility and 3 types of strength, and then put it all together for some awesome skills. Ready? And I'm going to show you the real problems with fitness. I don't even like that word, and the exact way to build true strength, flexibility, and skill. I say true because often people back themselves into such compartmentalized corners via weights or cardio or some hybrid method that imbalances and lack of sustainability push progressive movement beyond reach. Though there is a way to correct it, but it's not going to be things you want to hear. People don't want to hear they need to do something different, or that, as an example, they've done so many push-ups or bench press that their shoulders are ready to rupture. True story. I did a month-long workshop/study with a military youth academy whose staple for conditioning was push-ups. Do you realize how destroyed these teenagers' upper bodies were? It was a blast though. We were able to get over 50% increases in strength and flexibility during those 3 weeks. And yes, you can subscribe, but also opt in so that if YouTube ever goes away, you don't miss any of the training all of our top students receive. But a yoga bridge, big muscles, a six-pack is not what this is about, especially when what's underneath the six-pack is atrophied, literally and metaphorically. Don't get caught up in the get quick whatever schemes on other channels. You need to train mercilessly over years of time, but people don't want to hear that growth requires stepping outside their comfort zone, i.e. pain and discomfort and patience and all those boring things. It's well known that people gravitate to fitness methods given certain deeply held traditions. Taking shortcuts, low attention spans, lack of discipline and focus. And listen, I've done all those too. Like Paul says, the worst of all. But when the scales fall from the eyes, so to speak, you can't do it any other way. And that's what I'll share with you from a place of humility because, well, I'll just be dust one day too. So here we go. Our foundational 3 beginner moves are press handstand, V-stand, and muscle up. Then we go to other moves. Basically, you need to build your body so it can function in all directions. Then dyna combos, then katas. There are dozens, if not hundreds of progressional movements to help you get there. But those 3 moves are solid beginner goals. Yes, beginner. If one needs to lose weight to start beginner level work, I'd encourage simplicity. Whole, real foods, water. Do it for 1 month and report back in the comments. If one needs to correct past injuries, then do so. If one is just trying to get big, well, go for it. I went through those shenanigans once upon a time. Doesn't necessarily help with athleticism, self-defense, or even strength. Skinny powerlifters are incredibly strong. Scrappy folks can handle themselves. But there are things you need to understand as a beginner to go and get those press handstands, muscle ups, and V-stands, and go even way beyond them. Flexibility first. There is passive weighted. For example, middle splits, knees locked and in line with hips. Gravity is the weight first here. Then maybe partner stretching. Then maybe holding a weight during leg iron cross. Static active is like a bridge. You're stretching your shoulders for handstand mobility and abdominal muscles in a static position while the back muscles and posterior chain are actively engaged holding the position. Dynamic is using motion to achieve a greater stretch, and this happens in hollow back hops for shoulders. And all 3 of these stretching modalities will build flexibility for all of the foundational 3, press handstand, V-stand, and muscle up, plus anything else you want to do. Then the strength. And I'll start with tendon strength, which is the most critical. And I can say for certain that 99% of what's done in a mainstream gym does not train any of this. This is for rebounding, hangs, swings, and all the full power movement that you do in any extreme situation, like sports, self-defense, and even everyday life, like jumping out of the way of a speeding car. This is where even the biggest, baddest looking dudes go and rip their shoulder doing just a basic swing on a bar. We've had to rehab them, and I'm thinking of one person in particular who did a basic hanging crunch and tore his shoulder. We had to rehab him. Next, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is common in bodybuilding where you see a person break down the muscle with medium volume reps to create larger sarcoplasms in the muscle for greater volume of work. You'll need this for foundation strength and can be started with push-ups at all angles, dips, and weighted strength moves. Myofibrillar hypertrophy is actually increasing the number of myofibrils in the muscle. You don't necessarily get bigger, but you gain vastly more strength. This is how relatively small people can do enormous lifts and powerlifting. A bodyweight strength example would be the landings on flips that generate 500 pounds of force, or single rep maxes and low reps of advanced bodyweight strength, like handstand push-ups, 90-degree push-ups, weighted single leg squats, etc. And real quick, absolute strength is the body's total involuntary strength output. Think electric stimulation or the story of the granny lifting the car to save a child. Maximal strength is how close we can voluntarily push our bodies to that upper limit. And this is where you build your internal voice the most to push yourself to get to the next level, which is incredibly important. And we'll talk about it in a minute. And you'll need all three of those types of strength to build the foundation 3, press handstand, V-stand, and muscle up, and go way beyond. As an example, building the foundation of 5x20 push-up, then 5x10 dips, then on rings, and then you have the shoulder strength for a basic muscle up. Here's the issue though. You need to train in such a way that's merciless. I'm serious. People really don't understand what it takes to build strength and flexibility. Let's look at a very basic workout, okay? This is actually a trimmed down version of what I prescribed a 40-plus-year-old student last week. 5 rounds of Ninja Strength Kata at level 5. Then 5 rounds of max muscle ups, full bridge, weighted J curls, middle splits, and wall handstand. Let's say instead of muscle ups for you, it's just the 5x20 push-ups. What most people will do is not hit their reps because they're either too lazy, too obsessed with technical anatomy and perfection of form, or they fear the slightest things going wrong. In other words, they're not merciless with how they do it, and they put roadblocks in their own way. We have an expression called maximal engagement, and you need to push. Literally, you need to work 10 times harder than you think you need to. I'm serious. Every time I work with people, whether it's on the physical training or even on a professional level, people never work as hard as they could. They never push into the scary beyond, where the tears and the fears lie. All the haters and doofuses will leave comments saying this stuff is too advanced or you're gonna get hurt, and as usual, you'd be wrong. The other 50% to what I relentlessly preach in these videos is to get solid coaching, even from remote online. We've been doing it for years, and the whole idea is to overcome past injuries, not create them. Overcome roadblocks and build sustainable strength and skill for life. So talk to my team in the next day or so and literally be up and running with your training and making massive progress. See you in the next video, which is coming up on the screen right now, and that's designed to help you, or see you in training soon.